Alrighty, guys, what is going on? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about, or I'm going to be reviewing the first and second episode of the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender series. It's very difficult to do these type of reviews, because, well, they fucking just put them out like all 8 in one go, which is really stupid. I tried doing this with One Piece, didn't work out. Hopefully this one works out. But I don't know if this format's gonna work out or not, because I just having a bunch of episodes come out at once and then try to review them all at once is just stupid. I mean, I've only watched, at the time of this recording, I've genuinely only watched the first 2 episodes. So there's that. Again, we are going to try to avoid spoilers here. So again, also do not try to spoil anything, because again, I have not fucking watched the series yet. Other than these 2 episodes. So, yeah, we'll see how this works out. So we're gonna cover the first episode first. So the first episode was actually pretty good. I'm gonna call it like I see it. There were some things that I didn't like, obviously, in it. But in terms of a, kind of source material standpoint, for the most part, a lot of things were okay. There weren't any major things that changed. The biggest change in the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series was that they started the episode with Aang, in the prior 100 years, before he meets up with Katara and Sokka. They actually show his struggles with the air nomads and the lead up from being the Avatar. There was a kind of slight setup difference for him being revealed as the Avatar. But again, he's revealed to being the Avatar. At the beginning of, like, when they first start the episode, they have like like an earthbender like give like a message to another person that gets to the Earth King, that basically declares war on the Fire Nation. And or they reveal that the Fire Nation is going to declare war on all the nations, basically. And he basically gets captured, and the Sozin basically, explains what he's going to do, and he burns the guy. And then basically decides that he's going to cause mass genocide of the air nomads, which we knew this was coming. I have been on record that I did not think that the idea of showing the air nomads being wiped out, to the extent that they showed, I think was necessary. I know this is not supposed to be a kid show. It's supposed to be TV-14, but it's based on a kid show. And yes, the fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender that were kids like myself, because, I mean, this came out like in 2005, when I was like 12, I think. Obviously the idea of, kids that watched it in '05 are adults now, so it's justifiable to do TV-14. I don't think is really a good argument, because, again, there are a lot of, like, new generation of kids that watch the series on Netflix, the cartoon series. So I don't know if that's necessarily a valid argument. But nonetheless, they went with TV-14, whatever. I still don't like the whole idea of showing genocide like that. if you're gonna show some of it, just show like them getting attacked and then kind of just like skip through it. I didn't think that was necessary. Um, so after that happens, 100 years, or well, he's frozen in an iceberg, because again, that's why the Fire Nation were attacking, was because of Aang being an avatar, being the avatar, being an airbender. That's why they attacked. We had the Sozin Comet to wipe them out. And Gyatso couldn't stop them, and then that was really the end of it. We go to present time, which is 100 years later. Now, this is one thing that I also did note. They did not show a cue card for the, present day, 100 years later, which I know, most fans know that it's 100 years in the future, but I think that should have been shown there, the show that, we're in the present time now, basically, for this timeline, is that, it's 100 years later. So they show basically Sokka and Katara, they're trying to, like, I mean, they have really, like, I was like talking, but like they had really no like reason, like, for them to go on the ship or whatever. They just kind of did, like Katara did, but Sokka really didn't have to, because they weren't really arguing about like the whole, you know, boys are better than girls, like thing that Sokka was doing, because they're getting rid of that in Sokka's character, because as we all know, Sokka can't learn from his mistakes and can't grow as a character. So they got rid of that, and it really kind of felt flat to why Sokka was basically trying to assist Katara, because obviously she's trying to like learn how to waterbend and whatnot. Like, it really doesn't make sense. But they did it anyways, just for plot reasons. Okay. So Katara then basically discovers Aang, or discovers the iceberg, and basically, by, doing what she does, which wasn't that much considering the cartoon, she used her uncontrollable waterbending to break it. The thing breaks, the iceberg breaks. Aang is there. Sokka doesn't want to bring him home, but Katara's like, yeah, we have to bring him home. So then when they bring him home, it's Gran that realizes, like, he's an airbender, and they do like a little tribute to the intro thing, of the original intro from the anime series, which was kind of out of place. She just kind of randomly says it, but I thought it was kind of a cool tribute, for what it was. But anyways, so the biggest change here really is that, they don't go penguin sliding, for another thing, that Katara and Aang don't go penguin sliding, so, yeah, that kind of sucked. Those funny moments there that they did when they were, in the cartoon series, but anyways, so in this, he's just kind of like Gran basically figures it out. Like, she figures out that he's the Avatar. Not Aang admitting it to Zuko and then they finding out that way. No. They find out because Aang, because Gran is like smarter than everybody. Apparently in this. Not saying that Gran in the cartoon series wasn't, or the anime series wasn't, wasn't smart, but She wasn't like this like smart to knowing like, oh yeah, I know for sure that's the Avatar, you know. Um, Zuko goes to the village. And Sokka was about to hand over Aang, but then Katara's like, "No, you can't do that. You have to be a real leader, and we got to protect him." And at this point, against they knew he was the Avatar, of course. Sokka wants to fight Zuko 1-on-1. He accepts. Zuko easily like overpowers him. The Southern Water Tribe starts attacking the Fire Nation people, and then they realize they're outmatched. So then Aang gives himself up. They leave, and then of course there was the Flying Bison. The Flying Bison did show up here. Early on in the episode, I should mention this because that does come in effect here. Sokka and Katara agree to save Aang. Aang already saves himself by airbending the keys from the guard, gets out of there, and flies off of his glider. But the fire, Zuko eventually does hit him. He starts falling down, and this is where Sokka and Katara come into the rescue to save Aang. But with his flying bison. However, one of the biggest changes, and nobody has been able to crowd, and I've seen this again. There's not one time where Aang says zip, Appa yip yip, right, and that leads to him flying. And he never showed Katara and Sokka, hey, my flying bison, you need to say yip yip for him to fly. Because they kind of just did it on their own, so that was a major change. I don't think it's that much of a change, but it is a change. It is a storyline change because the whole characteristic of Aang's flying bison was that the way he flied was you had to say yip yip, and they got rid of that apparently. So he's easily overpowered, and they get away. They get away, and then they go to the southern air temple, and they see the results of the air nomads being wiped out. They see the results, and because of this, Aang goes into his avatar state, goes crazy, and then, he kind of gets back to normal, and then Katara consults with them, and that's how the first episode really ends. And, like I said, they didn't really do that many changes in this one, other than some minor, and then of course the prequel thing, the yip yip thing. Really kind of annoyed me that they got rid of that. And then of course Gran is like apparently like more intelligent than everybody now. So yeah, that was the first episode of Avatar. And like I said, probably the highlight of this series so far. Now, while there were moderate changes in the first one, of course, obviously the major thing was Sokka. His growth as a character was ruined in this episode. So that's going to be the major thing that we look at here. With that being said, the second episode, the second episode. Oh boy. So while there were minor changes, really, I thought more of a moderate type change in the first episode, In the second episode, they completely go into a 365-degree like switch here. Um, I don't even know what to say about this episode. This episode was completely butchered. It was butchered in so many ways. If you didn't like how Sokka's characteristics of, him trying to feel like, as a boy or, a man of the village, doing that and, growing as a person, realizing that women can fight, and are more empowered, that was the whole message of Sokka doing those, man jokes or whatever, was that, the females would get their, or the women would get their comeuppance on him, and then Sokka would get beat up and then would learn, that women can fight. They got rid of that whole aspect in this, and in episode 2, it really, really shows. And I'm not talking about Sokka. Because, okay, we knew Sokka's character was going to be toned down. What I was really caught off guard by was at how badly they butchered Suki in this. Holy crap. They made, and I haven't even gone through the whole episode yet, because this to me was a major change to what they did to Suki here. I don't know if people caught it, but I mean, I could do a whole in-depth on what they did to Suki here, but I probably can't get to everything that they butchered with Suki here, since we have like a whole episode of things that they changed in episode 2. But in episode 2, the major thing that they did to Suki here is they made her character completely flat. Like, when I mean flat, I mean like, if you watch the original series, the one thing that stood out about Kyoshi was she could hold her own. She was fearless. She was a warrior. She was someone who took charge, and she immediately, went right after Sokka, as in proving that he, is not as strong as her, and that was her way of proving that, she, can beat the crap out of him, and then that would make him want to learn from her. But in this, they completely made it, because they eliminated Sokka's, jokes about, being a man and a woman can't fight, and then the woman getting the comeuppance and proving that she can fight, and then Sokka admiring her and having character growth. Because they affected this with Sokka, this ruined Suki in this. Because they made Suki now, in a way, even though she does fight in this, they made her like a damsel in distress. I'm being serious. Like, they made her a damsel in distress, because in this episode, she immediately has an attraction to Sokka right away, not after them training together and Sokka eventually being able to overpower her from her teachings of, putting on the Kyoshi warrior uniform, which, by the way, Sokka does not put on in this, which I was also pissed off about. But besides that, she, as a character, immediately is attracted to Sokka right away. Like, if you know, like, right in the episode, she, like, goes and she's checking on him right away. And I'm like, that's not how Suki got attracted to Sokka. She got attracted to Sokka because of his character growth and him realizing the error of his ways, and then being willing to learn from Suki, and learning from her teachings is what made him a stronger warrior. That's what made Suki attracted him. Not just, oh yeah, this random, like, boy from this, like, village, that was a guardian of the village, of his village, just like I'm the guardian of my village, but now he's traveling with, other people, and now all of a sudden I'm just now interested in him. That's not what Suki was about as a character. And I can't believe how badly they handled Suki in this. It just, and of course also the mayor of the we already knew this change was happening. The mayor, which was a male, they got rid of that character, and now all of a sudden it was a woman mayor, which was Zuki's mom. And so, and also one of the biggest 180s in this also is that the Kyoshi Island wants nothing to do with any guests, but they don't even want the Avatar guests, even though they have proof. Katara and Sokka have proof that Aang is the Avatar. They don't care. They don't want them here. They said, "Oh, you got 48 hours," And even the villagers, like the non-Kyoshi warriors that are living in the village, they don't want him there either. And it's really strange because in the original anime, that's not how it happened. The villagers and the Kyoshi warriors, they all were happy that Aang and the Avatar had returned. Okay? So it was a complete 180. Like, this whole episode was a complete 180 of the anime. Like, straight up. And again, Kyoshi falls flat here because, again, it's like, oh, they're setting up this romance between the two, which I don't have a problem with it because, again, that is canonized, makes sense that they do have a romance. But the way they do it and the way they set it up is nothing like the way the cartoon went. And it makes Kyoshi, or I'm sorry, not Kyoshi, it makes Suki, feel, like an afterthought. Like, she's still inspired by Sokka rather than Sokka being inspired by Suki. Because that's how they kind of like get together, like in terms of that whole romance starting, is that Sokka was inspired by Suki. But in this, they're making it Suki is inspired by Sokka, which, again, does not work. Because, again, what is the point? Like, there's no character growth for Sokka. And at the same time, it just makes Kyoshi just not feel that special. It really doesn't. So that's the biggest change, I think, what stands out. Another thing that they changed, we're kind of going out of order out of this episode too, because there's so many things wrong with this because we're covering the Suki thing. Another change they made was Avatar Kyoshi is the one who reveals like all the stuff to Avatar Aang rather than Roku. Now, Avatar Aang does change into Avatar like Kyoshi in the original episode 3. However, it's not that deep. Like, she's not actually talking to him like all the time to set up her like helping him. Okay, it just kind of happens when he puts on the clothes and stuff like that. The Kyoshi warrior clothes. So they kind of really butchered this because, again, this is something that Roku does at the solstice, where he reveals like a lot of this stuff to Aang. So they gave this to Kyoshi for some reason. Now, they didn't reveal the comet though, but they did reveal a lot of stuff about warriors and stuff like that. So they kind of gave Kyoshi something that she wasn't supposed to have, I guess, because Kyoshi is so popular. So they just felt like they wanted to add more to Kyoshi here, to Avatar Kyoshi. But I wouldn't have done that. So there was that. Another change was that they had Commander Zhao kind of be a pushover, really, in this. Like when Zuko goes to the fort, um, you know, Commander Zhao just basically like he does the stuff behind his back, which is what he does in the cartoon. However, when he interrogates the soldiers, but Zuko's soldiers, but um, what he does is he basically goes to Kyoshi Island, um, and Zuko gets a tip from this, and he goes then too. Um, Definitely not how it happened in the original. And also another thing is Zhao, when he finds out, it basically turns into a competition between Zuko and Zhao. In this, um, there's like sneaking stuff going on where it's like, it's like Commander Zhao is trying to like pretend that he's on Zuko's side, but in reality he's not. And at the end of the episode, he does, say, "Oh, I'm on your side. We can do this together. It'll make it much easier." Um, and behind his back, he's basically sending a message to the Fire Lord, and basically saying that the Avatar has arrived and he's back and whatnot. Um, I also I didn't even point this out too. At the beginning of the episode too, they were still on the uh, the Southern Air Temple, and they found Momo like in Katara's bag where he was like eating some food and whatnot. Also in the bag was a water bending scroll, um, and basically it basically helps Katara learn how to waterbend. And it was a message from Gran, who basically tells her, that she was afraid to give it to her in the village because of Fire Nation soldiers coming and taking her away. But now that she's traveling with the Avatar, she feels more confident giving it to her. So that's how she starts learning how to do waterbending. Or starting to learn how to do waterbending. Now, this is a change because the waterbending scroll that she gets from Gran in the cartoon is not given to her by Gran. She steals it from pirates. Now, granted, the pirates stole it from a waterbending person, but yeah, so she stole the scroll from a pirate, and apparently they were like, "Oh, we can't encourage thievery here from our heroes," so uh, they decide to cut that and once again make Gran more smarter, I guess. Um, so that was a change, and that was before they got to Kyoshi Island. We kind of grazed on it because of the whole changes that they made to Zuki. Zuki at the end of the episode does kiss kiss Sokka, by the way, but again, it really felt forced. It didn't feel like a natural interaction like they had in the original cartoon. So that was the one thing that just stood out to me right off the bat, is that they really kind of ruined Kyoshi's character here. I'm not Kyoshi, I'm sorry. They really ruined Zuki's character here. They really made Zuki just they made Zuki really a flat character here. Like I said, you could go on this all day about Zuki. But yeah, just some of the things with the soldiers, that came to the island that attacked, um, the Kyoshi warriors. They attacked them, and there was just nothing really to note. It was just kind of whatever battle. Again, once again, Sokka did train with Suki, but again, it wasn't really that much of a training session that much, and again, he wasn't wearing the Kyoshi Warriors clothes with Suki. And then again, the attack battles weren't that much. Katara did protect Aang, who was in the Avatar state, talking to Kyoshi. With her new sort of waterbending skills she had learned with Zuko. Right when it looked like Zuko was going to attack her, that's when Aang, as Kyoshi, came out in action, attacked Zuko and his squad, and then he helps the village. Or Kyoshi helps the village. She helps the village with Avatar or Aang's body, and takes out Zhao and his guys. And we covered the stuff that happened at the end of the episode already, about how Fire Lord Ozai learns it from Commander Zhao. And that's the end of the episode. That's, like I said, this episode was clunky. It just changed a lot of stuff. Zuki's character is completely flat in this episode, and again, they really missed an opportunity here with Suki. Suki just doesn't feel as important as she should feel. I feel like by screwing up Sokka's origins, they screwed up Zuki's origins. They made it more about Suki chasing Sokka rather than Sokka chasing Suki. You know what I'm saying? They really made it. They really made it more about Suki chasing Sokka than Sokka chasing Suki, which doesn't really grow anything, because the whole interaction with them was that Sokka is supposed to learn and grow as a person because of Suki, and that's what ultimately attracts them together, and that's how they eventually fall in love. Now with Suki chasing Sokka, it just doesn't feel that natural. It just kind of feels like they're forcing them together more than it actually feeling that they genuinely like each other. That it's just kind of forced for Suki to just be with him because of this whole he's a guardian of the village, of his village, thing, and she's a guardian of her village. That's really what it feels like, and it was so much more than that in the original. As a matter of fact, that was never brought up to why they got together. That the powerful scene, where Suki, says at the end of the episode when it looks really bad. When the Fire Nation was attacking their village, she basically says to Sokka as they're leaving, she says that, yes, I'm a warrior, but I'm also a girl too. When he was trying to protect her. That was a powerful scene. And that was gone here. It's just, oh yeah, we like each other now and we're gonna kiss, To me, it was flat. I don't know what anyone else's take is on this episode, but that I call it like I see it. I did not like the way they handled Suki's character at all here. Did like the outfits. The outfits were awesome, especially since the live action whitewashing movie didn't have the Kyoshi Warriors at all in it. Glad for that, but was not impressed with how they changed the Kyoshi Warriors here, or changed Suki. So that is the episode 1 and 2 review of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series. Comment, rate, if you like this video, my videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for all latest contents. Thank you, and that's about it. I am the Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace. Also, YouTube channel, the S Ultimate Goku, but also follow me on the Twitch, the S Ultimate Goku, Instagram, the S Ultimate Goku, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we talk about a lot of different various topics of fictional media on the Discord server. So yes, go there, and now I'm out. Peace.